Hi, I'm Eric Bolling in for Bill O'Reilly. Thanks for watching this special edition of the O'Reilly Factor, the war on terror, the political equation. Let's get right to our top story. The terrorism threat upending the 2016 campaign. A new CBS News poll shows Americans now fear the likelihood of a terror attack more than at any other point since 9/11. Those concerns are fueling a new surge of support for Donald Trump among Republicans, with 40% saying they're very confident in his ability to handle the terror threat. No other candidate comes close. Meanwhile, the new Wall Street Journal poll shows the majority of Americans would oppose Trump's temporary ban on Muslims entering the U.S. However, Republicans are split on the issue. Trump's GOP rivals are another story, leaving no doubt about which side they come down on.
All the talk, including the newscasts, they're dominated by this plan that's never going to happen. This is never going to become the law of the country, what Donald Trump is proposing.
It's not a proposal, it's a sentiment. It's a way to fulfill people's deep anxiety and fear. Trump is a master at this, but the simple fact is he doesn't have a plan. He's not serious.
There's no way that Donald Trump's going to be president. I've been saying that for weeks. I don't even take it seriously.
He's a race-baiting, xenophobic, religious bigot. You know how you make America great again? Tell Donald Trump to go to hell.
Joining us now with reaction from Washington, Democratic strategist Simon Rosenberg, and here in studio in New York, Republican strategist Michael Mizlansky. Michael, start with you. John Kasich says he doesn't take him seriously. Lindsey Graham says, make America great, throw the guy out. What are they missing?
Well, I think, first of all, I think there is a ceiling to Trump's support. And so he's gone back up to where he was before Carson took over. That 35% is really strong and really intense, and they really believe in Trump. The problem that all these guys have is that they don't have a plan themselves. All they're doing is reacting to what Trump does, and as long as they do that, they're not going to be able to take him down.
35% is a ceiling?
I think it's
14 guys and 14 people in the race. If 35% would be a ceiling, Simon, that I would love to have if I was one of the others playing around with 3%, 4%, and 5%.
Well, listen, people have been saying that when Trump was at 25, that was his ceiling. When he was at 30, that was his ceiling. He keeps breaking through these ceilings, and you know, I don't. This is an amazing election, and Trump continues to set the tone of the debate for both parties, frankly. But I do think he made a mistake on this one. I think he went too far.
Why?
Because it's
Why is this the one, Simon? I mean, there are people who have said, you know, with the war hero thing with McCain, Carly's face, and you know, the journalists. But this is the one that he went too far.
No, Eric, I'm not going to argue that it's going to hurt him. I just think that his proposal was a mistake. I think this was a bad idea. But I'm not arguing, therefore, this is going to hurt him with the public or hurt him inside the Republican primary audience. It clearly hasn't.
You can see it in the numbers, though. It's exactly the reason why his numbers are not going to go up beyond this number, because you see the amount of people, the percentage of Republicans who support this proposal are the same percentage of Republicans who support Trump. And he's now alienated the rest of the Republican base. So while he may be able to win with 35%, if, and it's a big if Republicans coalesce around another candidate, then that's when he's got trouble.
Trouble with a nomination, or trouble with Republicans not wanting to vote for Donald Trump, trouble with Hillary?
Well, certainly trouble down the road in the general. But even you could paint a picture that says if he can't get above 35%, and it's a big if, and the Republicans coalesce around another candidate, he can't get higher than that. There's a road for him to lose. Simon,
prior to the statement, you've seen these numbers. Prior to the statement or the ban on temporary ban on Muslims, he was polling around 30%. Post statement, he jumps up to 38%. And also today, I read a Washington Post piece saying Hillary Clinton supporters actually agree with Donald Trump, a lot of them, on the ban on Muslim immigration.
Well, I don't know about that last point, but I do think that just like Trump has benefited on the Republican side, this is clearly going to benefit Hillary to help put her race away on the Democratic side. It wasn't really that much in question, but this is going to play to her sense of experience and her foreign policy.
Let me ask you this, Simon. Is this a mistake for the other GOP contenders to line up on the same side as Hillary Clinton and the media? So you have Trump on one side, you have Hillary Clinton, the media, and liberals on the other. I mean, you're forcing the American public, the GOP, to choose, and a lot of them don't like liberals or the media.
Yeah, but Eric, what is true on this one is that this is a bad idea, right? I mean, more than half of the Muslims in the world don't live in the Middle East. They live in countries like England and France, and they live in Indonesia and India, right? Also, how are you going to screen for someone's religious belief? They can lie about it. I understand the sentiment. I understand the sense that people aren't feeling safe. But this was a really bad idea by Donald Trump, and that's why it's appropriate, I think, for the Republicans to have gone after him.
Bad idea in what sense? I mean, let me bring it to Michael. It's a bad idea, yet it increases his polling. He's in it to win it.
And he's giving people something to react to. The problem with the other Republican candidates is that they're not giving him anything, the voters anything to react to. They don't stand for anything. We saw from all those clips, all they talk about is what they're against. If they want to compete for the nomination, they have to come up with something that is more American than banning Muslims from coming into the United States. And there's one other thing about that poll that I think is really interesting, and that is that Americans are more afraid of Muslims in the country than they are afraid of the Muslims that could come into the country through immigration.
I think Americans are afraid of the last 8 years of President Obama's policies that are that's basically allowing terror to come over to the homeland, Simon.
But Eric, the guy who perpetrated these acts was an American citizen who was born in the United States.
No, hold on, no spin, right? He married a woman who looks like she was radicalized in Saudi Arabia. Pakistani who was radicalized in Saudi Arabia, came over here and may have been the impetus, the push to the final act in San Bernardino.
We don't know that. But the point is, the guy who was the mastermind, right, of this thing was an American citizen born here in the United States. There hasn't been some huge influx of foreign fighters into the United States.
Yeah, I know, Simon. I know.
That's not true.
I got to go.
That's
But I've heard President Obama say that there is no imminent threat for homegrown terror. Now it looks like there is. I heard him say ISIS everything we've heard about the administration seems to be wrong. Gentlemen, I have to leave it right there. Thank you very much.